and welcome back to Life in Print with Leonie. So today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie tag. Now nobody's tagged me in this, I've kind of taken it upon myself to do it because I am brand new to the Booktube community, despite already running a successful book reviewing blog for around 2 years. Being in front of the camera is absolutely a new thing for me, and I really want to get involved in the Booktube community, and this seemed like the very best way to get involved. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it. So I have them all the questions wrote down on my notepad because my memory is atrocious and there is absolutely no way on this earth I would have remembered how many questions or what the questions were unless I wrote them down. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? So as I said, I've been running a book blog for around 2 years on WordPress, and it's only really recently started taking off on social media, mainly because I just wasn't utilising it properly to begin with. The blog started out very much as a way for me just to get across my thoughts and feelings about general life, and it sort of developed into a book reviewing blog along the way. So I sort of heard about booktubing, but I wasn't really confident in terms of getting in front of the camera or talking. Public speaking's never been a strong point, and this feels very much like that. And I think, like everyone, it feels a little bit odd addressing a camera as if it's a person. Hi camera. So I think I started this blog really to build up my own confidence, but also to be able to discuss my books and books that I've read, and also really get involved in the community where I can talk to other people who love books as much as I do. I don't really have any friends or family members that are into books quite as much as what I am, so it would be really good to connect with other people who do love books as much as me, and get some conversations going on that. So the second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Now, since I saw this question, I've sort of been thinking a lot about what that could be. It's sort of like the question at a job interview where you get asked what are your strengths and weaknesses. It's really difficult to say that without sounding conceited or really self-promoting, which has never been something that I've been comfortable with doing. So I think really in terms of uniqueness, I think every person is unique and can bring something unique to the table, whether that's their personality, whether it's their funky t-shirts or their different books, the different things they like to read. I'd like to think that my vlogs can be fun. I will try and make them as fun as possible, and I do read a really wide variety of books, and I think although that's the case for everyone, everyone's always going to have different tastes and they're always going to be able to bring something new to the table. So yeah, that's for me. I'm hoping I will be able to bring something new to the Booktube community. Question 3 is, what are you most excited about for this channel? I think again, like, I'm really excited to really showcase the books that I have, the different sort of quirky and cool things that I have on my shelves, and being able to share my excitement for books, because when I read a really good book and I feel excited about it, as I said before, I don't really have anybody to share that with. Like, I can talk to my boyfriend about it and I'm like, oh god, this book is great, this is really exciting, this is what happened, these are the characters. But I think particularly with series, if it's the 3rd book in a series or the 4th book, and I want to be like, oh my god, you'd never guess who was a couple, or oh my god, this person dies, and I'm like crying, and he doesn't really understand why, because he's not a big reader. Like, he'll maybe read 1 or 2 books a year when we're on holiday, and that's it. So I don't have somebody I can go to and be like, this book is amazing. And I'm knocking things over now, I very much want to be able to share that sort of thing with other book lovers, and be able to say, you know, this is great, go out and read it, or if you've read it already, let's talk about it. So question 4 is, why do you love reading? Now, this is harder than you would expect to answer, because although it seems obvious that I do love reading, I can't remember a time when I didn't. Even when I was a really little girl, I loved reading so much that I remember being in junior school and we were reading The Witch of Blackberry Farm by Dick King-Smith at like the story time that you have where you all sat on the carpet and the teacher reads a chapter of the book each week. And I loved that story so much that I went to the school library and took it out and took it home and read it that weekend. So then I really got bored in reading time at school for the next few weeks while the remaining chapters got read, because I knew what was going to happen already. It's always been something, you know, Leonie loves reading, and even to the extent that I used to read menus when we went out for meals and different things like that, because just anything I can get my hands on to read, I will read. I think it's very much about escapism, which it is for everyone who reads. It's that being able to go to different worlds, even if that's not a literal different world in like a fantasy novel or a sci-fi novel, but just a different world from the world that I occupy every day. I like to take inspiration from books. I like to think, you know, I could go out there and do that because that person did that and there's no reason why that should stop me. I like to read books that inspire me or take me away from sort of the dullness, I suppose, of ordinary life and ordinary existence, and that is something that I can only get from books. So question 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? I really don't remember because, as I say, I've read for so long. So I think probably the books that really stick out at me from my childhood as being the best books I read as a child is probably books like Witch Child by Celia Rees, The Earthsea Quartet by Ursula Le Guin, The Wind Singer by William Nicholson, and Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. I still never know whether I'm pronouncing Lyra correctly as the main character from Northern Lights, but I wanted to be Lyra. I wanted to have demon. I always thought it was daemon, but I think the correct pronunciation is demon. But I always wanted one of those. I was like trying to convince my pets as a child to change into different things in order to become a demon, and I'm so excited that Philip Pullman is releasing a new part to that series this year. It's already pre-ordered and I absolutely cannot wait until October for that to come out. So question 6 is, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? So I'm still very new to Booktube, so I haven't been able to watch like every booktuber out there. So it's absolutely nothing personal if I haven't seen a video yet, and please feel free to post links in the comments, because I do want to check out as many other booktubers as I can, and also help out in checking them out, particularly if you're new like me. I'd like to get on board and maybe talk about things that we can do differently. So I really like Hayley in Bookland. She has been my favourite booktuber up to now, and I think the question that I would want to ask her would probably be, where do you get all your really cool lipstick colours from? Because she does wear really funky lipstick. That's not really a booktube related question, but I think one thing where Hayley's concerned is that she answers a lot of questions already. She does a lot of question and answer sessions, and also she did a really helpful video which talked about how to be successful on Booktube, how to get into it, what works, what doesn't, and I found that incredibly helpful and incredibly useful, and I am going to be taking a lot of her comments on board going forward with my own channel. So I think she has already answered a lot of my questions, so just the lipstick one really. And so question 7 is, which challenges did you think that starting a Booktube channel would be the hardest to overcome? So I think for me, the biggest challenge initially is time. I think because I work full time in an office doing administration, so I'm there like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. On top of that, I'm doing a degree as well with the Open University in Creative Writing and English Literature. So that takes up another sort of 16 to 20 hours, if not more, a week on doing that. I'm writing a novel as well, which is nearly finished. I write short stories and poetry, a couple of which have been published in minor publications. And then I'm also a reviewer for NetGalley, reviewing ARCs for them through my blog, and reviewing other books that I read through my blog as well. On top of that, I've just got sort of my normal adult existence in that I need to read all the time. You know, I want to watch Pretty Little Liars sometimes. Sometimes I just want to veg out with my boyfriend and watch Suits, or whatever other series we're on at the moment. Walk my dog, spend time with my family, spend time with my friends, go to the cinema, and it's like, wow, this is like another thing that I need to fit into my life. But I'm hoping more than anything that it's going to be worth that time, like that I'm going to have fun doing it, which I am up to now. I have enjoyed putting my videos together, even though they've not had a lot of views or you know, a lot of subscribers. I'm enjoying the process of just being able to stand here and talk about how much I love books. So question 8 is, when did you start reading? So I think I've sort of already answered that. I think I probably started reading on a serious level at around 3 or 4 years old, which is pretty early. At that point I had the reading age, you know, like they do the reading age thing at school. I had the reading age of like a 7 or 8 year old, and that just kept going up until sort of in junior school I was around the reading age of about you know, somebody in their early to mid 20s, just because I just read all the time. My family were very accommodating. I'm not sure that's the right word, but they really let me read and let me reach my potential with it. The sort of home videos of me like unwrapping like books, yay. So that it's just been something that I've always done. As far back as I can physically remember, I've always read. I've always loved reading books. So question 9 is, where do you read? Easy, everywhere. Literally, like, I'm a huge believer in always having a book with me, whether that's a physical copy of a book, whether it's my trusty Kindle, or whether in emergencies it is the Kindle app on my iPhone, just so that wherever I am I can read. You know, you sat in the doctor's waiting room, we all know they never run on time, so I can get my book and just read while I'm waiting. I read on the bus to and from work, I read on the sofa. I've got an absolutely gorgeous chair. It's upstairs in my room. It's like a big hardback chair with little foxes and owls all over it, and that's my reading chair, so I can sit in there, put my feet up on the bed. I've got my salt crystal lamp at the side, and I'll sit there and read in an evening. I read in the kitchen at work while I'm eating my lunch. There has been times where I've been so into a book that I've read walking down the street. so literally just everywhere is where I read, but my favourite place to read it is in my new chair. So question 10, and the last of the questions, is what kind of books do you like to read? So pretty much everything. I'm not a huge fan of horror. While I can respect horror as a genre, and I have read horror books and enjoyed the writing and seeing how good they really are in terms of how frightened they can make you. I don't like being frightened. So as much as I can enjoy it and get enthralled with the story and the mystery, I really don't like being scared. And I've ended up talking about books that I don't like to read rather than books I do. I suppose my favourite kind of books would be sort of fantasy books, so things like Philip Pullman's Northern Lights, Garth Nix's Old Kingdom series is one of my particular favourites, the Earthsea Quartet, anything by Cassandra Clare. Literally I would read something she'd written on the back of a paper bag, because I just really love the Shadowhunters series. And I've also been reading recently the series she did with Holly Black, author of Spiderwick Chronicles, which is Magisterium, and I've really enjoyed that as well. So pretty much anything like that I will read. I love classics, but they tend to be more in the gothic genre rather than anything else. I do like Austen, but not as much as, say, the Brontes. Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, Tenant of Wildfell Hall are my three favourites by the Bronte sisters. And I love romance as well. I love what I call sort of candy floss books that I can take on holiday with me and just relax in the sun and read about dreamy romances and, you know, falling in love with the wrong guy only to be rescued by the right one. So pretty much everything. So as I said before, coming to my channel will bring variety and hopefully lots of fun and interesting times. So I will be doing a book haul later this week because I bought my brand new IKEA Billy shelves, which I've been wanting for ages, and starting this channel kind of gave me an excuse to buy them. So it's coming useful for that at least. So now I've got lots of shelves to fill because I didn't have much space before, so I couldn't really buy many physical books, and I use my e-reader quite a lot. So I bought lots of books to help fill the shelves, so I'll be talking through those later on this week. So thank you very much for coming and viewing my channel. I do hope that you'll stick around and subscribe, or even at least, you know, just pop back and check out some of the videos that I do from time to time. Please link me in to your vlogs as well in case I haven't seen them. Because I really do want to just generally see as many other booktubers as I can and get involved in this community. So thank you very much.